Good evening, everybody. If you are watching this stream after the fact, then please do feel free to skip ahead to qualifying, as we are just getting the rest of the lobby set up and the stream all up and running properly. And we'll see you in a moment. Oh, my stream's up.
Oh, great. I'm just gonna see who's missing and then put mine up. Okay.
Tier is misspelled. That is a good spot. I will change that right now. It's probably like that from last time as well. Changed it on the tier 1 video too. I think I'm sat in my channel right now. Yeah, look at that, it's the same thing on this video. Can't believe I got 4th in that race, to be honest. I was very lucky. Yes, hello Ash, hello Lifebout, hello Alex, hello Rick, welcome. Got another good feeling today, Lifebout. That's always where calamity starts. Hero tier 2. Yes, and lasses. Hello, hello, hello. That's what I thought on at tier 1 Lifebout, and then I ended up in P4. So don't count yourself out again. Ryan Blair, how you doing? P5 shall be mine for Alex. Yes, I'm sure it will. You do like finishing in P5.
It's like YH Gamer's done his classic move of signing up for a race and then not turning up.
Classic. I've just put your stream in the live streams. So you've got the onboards in there.
Thank you.
Right. I'll just quickly say those of you who want to have a second viewing or second viewpoint of the stream, go to Ghost channel and watch the onboard stream, as we'll be riding on board with the drivers over there. You won't be hearing any sort of radio from them, but it's nice to just see their onboard footage, while the main stream, of course, does show their the TV coverage type cameras that the game has to offer.
That would be so cool if we could get we could get their audio.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? It'd be like we could pitch into like a little like party or something. They're all kind of like in there, but they can't hear each other or something. Or...
Yeah, or you could toggle proximity audio.
Yeah, yeah. Or even if or if you're like following that driver, you can hear what they're saying, and then you can hear Jeff as well.
Yeah.
every now and again, and it would just be Jeff chatting a load of bollocks. Jeff, you know, in the middle of a dry race, and Jeff would be like, "Yeah, it's gonna rain in like 20 minutes,"
Yeah, exactly.
and it's like 3 laps left of the race. It's like, well, that's cool, Jeff.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be so cool.
Oh, crikey, we're already up.
We are.
Well, then it'll be a good time to say good evening, everybody, and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm Sumo, your commentator this evening, and joining me as always is the 4-time sprint champion, Ghost. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm alright. Despite the championship being all done and dusted in terms of the drivers, still very much looking forward to this race. There's still championship spots to fight for. There's still the Constructors' Championship to fight for. That is not over yet.
No.
So, yes, it should be a good one today. It always is decent in Monza, and hopefully everyone can get through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, hopefully so. As Ghost said, we head to the stage of which hosted the first race of the Tier 2 Championship, the Temple of Speed, known as Monza. The circuit has the fastest average speed of all the circuits in Formula 1 right now, and has always been a circuit that produces great racing action. 5.793 kilometres and 11 corners make up this incredible circuit, where we're bound to see some high-speed battles. Any thoughts, Ghost?
Yeah, for sure. I think this race is going to be won or lost, not on the DRS straights, as a lot of people might believe, but actually in the corners and following other cars. Because if you're fast enough in the slow sectors well, no part of this track is slow, but the sort of the sectors which are more corner based.
Yeah.
If you can stay behind the car in front of you and stick with them, then you'll be in good stead. So I think that's where this race will be won or lost, and qualifying should be interesting as well. Monza is either very close or very spread out in terms of qualifying, so we'll see how it is today. Madman, I would expect to be on pole, but he is not joining until later, and he might not even make it at all. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we might see some classic Red Bull teamwork. I think RJ will be the first to venture out on the circuit. But anyway, Tinoz claimed the Drivers' Championship last week and has become the third driver to earn the title of Tier 2 Drivers' Champion. A huge congratulations to him. It was a well-earned championship from him. He was always very consistent, and it has been a pleasure to watch his championship campaign come through to success. The battle for second in the championship is a hard-fought one between Krauser, LB, RJ and Pommy Alex, who are all sat within 13 points of one another. So keep an eye out on those guys, and an eye up and down the grid, as there'll be a few shuffles of positions between a number of the drivers still in the Drivers' Championship, even though it's all wrapped up in terms of the Drivers' Champion. AlphaTauri are just 21 points clear of Red Bull, who need to pull some strong results this evening and next Tuesday if they are to win the Constructors' Championship, which is looking like it's going to go down to the final race. Any insights, Ghost?
Yeah, I think so. AlphaTauri, the momentum has shifted the last few weeks between the two Constructors' Championship contenders. AlphaTauri were very much on top for most of this season, but coming into the last couple of weeks, it's been quite shaky for AlphaTauri. Even Tinoz hasn't had the best few weekends, so it's going to be tricky for them to get back up to that form and not choke this 21-point lead to Red Bull, because at the moment Red Bull are looking quite strong, as long as Krauser can have consistent races, which he is also struggling with at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just noticing something weird. There's a Williams pulled over on the circuit. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I saw him come out of the pits and cross the white line immediately, which I don't know if that was a bug or that was intentional, but I'm pretty sure that's not allowed.
Interesting.
I'm sure we'll see that one in the stewards pass. We'll head on back to RJ. Just as I let you know, tonight's action is brought to you once again by Positive Perception Media Design Products. If you love seeing cool livery designs, head over to their socials to catch a glimpse. Some truly awesome designs. Do head over, show them all the support and love that you show us over here. It is very much appreciated. And their content, as always, great to see. I do love seeing the liveries pop up every now and again. They are very cool. Without further delay, we'll get into qualifying as RJ comes through. Parabolica. I can't remember the name for it at the minute. There's another name, but
just call it Parabolica.
It's just Parabolica. As RJ sets the pace of a 21.031. He'll be followed by, I think that's going to be the Haas of JBS Steve. So he'll be
it's
QB on his outlap. So it's going to be Tinoz, our championship winner. Our season 3 champion, even the new defending champion. He'll probably make the move over to tier 1 next season, but he sets a 120.8, so he's only 2/10 clear of RJ right now. Who's then going to be followed by Lifebout, who's been on a storm of success at the moment with just a 21.3, but there's plenty of room for improvement over there.
Yeah, Tinoz may have won the championship, but you can bet that he's going to want to do really well at his home race here in Italy. Yeah, don't be surprised to see him still battling hard at the front, and who knows, especially with no pressure anymore, he might fight a little bit harder. JBS Steve just about coming across the line now in the Haas. He's had a decent rookie season so far. In the Haas, and he goes into P3, in fact, with a 21.2, so not too bad. The lap record around here, by the way, is Koru's. I don't think anyone's going to get near that today unless Madman gets here, but that's a 20.3. Yeah, just keep that in mind in case anyone gets near it. Yeah, Tinoz, who's not been the greatest qualifier so far this season, finds himself on
APPF1 is retired. He's crashed in between Lesmo 1 and 2 there. That's not going to be great for the Alpine driver as he tried to set a fast lap.
Yeah, that's exactly the place where I have crashed several times. Crashed there in qualifying on Sunday, and I crashed there in the race on Friday. So, yeah, it's a tricky one sometimes. If you get a bit too wide, you can find yourself in the wall very quickly.
Here comes LB. This man's in the fight for second place of the championship right now. He's trailing 8 points behind his teammate Krauser. He'll be looking to get a decent result to win that inter-team battle. But of course, the bigger fish to fry at the moment is the battle with AlphaTauri as he goes up into second place with a 20.9.
Yeah, for sure. Hartmann is going to be needing to put in a good performance today. It's not going to help going wide at Lesmo 1 like that, though. But he does need to get some good points on the board for AlphaTauri because if Red Bull have a good weekend, Crows are down in P7 at the moment, but I'm sure he'll improve. So if Hartmann doesn't have a good weekend, then it's an opportunity for Red Bull, as long as LB can have a consistent day, which he sometimes struggles with.
Yeah, Red Bull seem to find themselves in especially a lot of times throughout this championship, they found themselves just on the wrong end of incidents on the circuit, which led them to losing positions that they probably shouldn't have. Otherwise, here comes Hartmann. He'll find himself with 1:28.8 for his lap at the moment. I think the Stingray was going to set another lap.
Yep, he just beat Hartmann into P8 for a 21.6, so he did a second lap on those soft tyres, which I think you can do. You will lose time on the second lap, but it's definitely possible. You're not going to lose too much in the race because
LB who goes at pole on his second run.
Wow, that's a huge lap from the Red Bull. I think that's going to get him pole position. I would not be surprised. I'm going to ride on board with SW for all of his lap as he has a bit of a kicker through turn 1, just to got a bit too much on the curb. So that'll cost him some time straight away.
Yeah, it can be very tricky, that corner. Well, a lot of the chicanes around here, they're very tricky, especially this one, the Della Roggia. You've really got to just commit to that one and just send it in there. If you're any sort of nervous through that corner, then you're going to You might end up spinning on the exit of it, but it looked pretty good as he just
Ooh,
invalidates out of Lesmo 2.
that was a very close invalidation. But yeah, De La Rozier used to be easier on
Yeah.
this game because they changed it so that the curbs were deadlier and more akin to how they are in real life. Because before you could just go straight over the curbs and it was a lot easier to get right. But now it's very tough and you can easily lose a lot of time through there.
Tino's on another outlap. He's just about to start his fast lap now. The local hero will be looking to get pole position here, but he's got a tough contender in LB at the moment. He's got 4 attempts to find. The only 2 drivers in the 1 minute 20s thus far, but I'm sure a few of the others will find themselves venturing there. Lifebout's going to try on the medium tyres. He's put himself up to P5, which isn't a bad position for him at all. Let's see if those medium tyres will work out for him. As he just starts his hot lap now. I think LB is definitely on an in lap. And I'm going to take my jumper off.
I don't know if Tinoz has always had an Italian helmet flag this season, I can't remember, but if it is just for this race, that's a classy touch. I do like that. Down he comes through sector 2, but he's 1.5 tenths down, so he's not going to be improving on this lap unless he really screwed up Ascari in his previous effort. And you can really mess up Parabolica as well. I was on a pole lap last week in Tier 1 and completely messed up Parabolica and lost all of the time that I gained on the rest of the lap. So it's surprisingly easy to do. It seems like a fairly simple corner, but yeah, here comes Tinoz across the line though at 20.9, so he did vastly improve in Sector 3, but sadly that time lost in the other 2 sectors, proving too much.
Yeah, certainly. So it's all about fine margins here in Formula 1. Lifebout is 4 tenths down on his previous best on those medium tyres. It is to be expected. I wouldn't be surprised if he just peels his way into the pit lane before his final run. We've got 7 minutes left of the session, so we're firmly about halfway through or so of the session. I think it's normally 16 minutes, but of a session, I think it is. I can't remember.
It's 18 minutes.
18 minutes, there you go. Krauser 10th faster than his previous best, but no improvement from the Red Bull driver thus far. How about Hephaestus? He's 1.1 seconds up, so he'll be jumping well up the order. He jumps up into 2nd place for the Mercedes driver. What an improvement he's found.
Brilliant effort from the man from the Dominican Republic. We love to see him back in Tier 2. He had a bit of time out for, I'm assuming, real life reasons, but it's great to see him back. And that's a great improvement from him as Pommy Alex gets on the grass at Parabolica, just a bit too deep towards the inside, and indeed into the pits he comes. He clearly lost a lot of time doing that, and he's not going to improve this time around.
People's champion in the fight for the 2nd place. He currently sits P5, his favourite position at the moment. He sats tied on points with RJ Blair. They were both sat on 155 points, LB 160 and Krauser 168. So it's really not a lot between those guys. It'll be a hard-fought battle with them, I'm sure. And with RJ's... RJ must have really climbed back into it after winning at Russia last week.
Yeah, absolutely. He DNF'd in the first 2 races of the season. And then 5th and 11th, and then couldn't make it to France, and 4th, and then ever since then, 3rd, 5th, 2nd, 1st. So what an improvement he's had towards the second half of the season. If he'd been on it this much in the first half of the season, he'd be challenging for the title, but as it is, he's gunning for that P3 or maybe P2 in the championship.
Yeah, certainly so. I think RJ is on a cool-down lap. He'll be peeling into the pits, I'm sure. I think we're runnable with SW. I think he might try a lap. He did invalidate his first attempt, so we'll see whether he peels into the pit lane or not in that Williams. Williams didn't have the... Well, they had a great start to the season, and then around the middle of the season, it all sort of fell apart. I believe it was after Singapore. It was a shame to see it happen, but sometimes that's motor racing.
Yeah, it's been a topsy-turvy season for SW and Williams in general, really. He's clearly got a lot of pace, SW, but he's just hasn't been able to unlock it in race results, as it were. He got his win in the Netherlands, but other than that, it's been a pretty dire set of results. And the podium in Spain, he did get very unlucky with the safety car last week, but even so, he could be doing a lot better than he is doing in the championship standings.
Yeah, well, let's see if this lap will prove anything for him. He's the only driver thus far not to set a lap time at the minute, so he's coming down toward Ascari now. He's going to need a good run.
He is going to need a good run. That looked... well, I didn't see I was riding on board with JBS Steve, but we'll find out as he comes into Parabolica if it's a good time or not. He will still have time to set at least one more lap. But here he comes up to the line now, SW. The Belgian in the Williams, it looks like pretty decent. It's a 20.8, and he just about beats Tinoz into P3, but he can't beat Hephaestus's time, not quite. And I'm sure SW will have another run, but yeah, for his first lap, I think he'll be pleased to be in P3, but look how close it is between P2 and P5. There's I think Sumo is muted for some reason, so I'll take over until he's back. JBS Steve, I don't think he improved on that last lap. LB has improved, though, a 20.350. Is that a lap record? I said no one would get anywhere near it, but LB is within 2.5 hundredths of it. So he'll be disappointed not to get the lap record, but I'm sure that is pole position for LB. He'll be ecstatic with that and hoping to carry it through to win the race. Get some valuable points for Red Bull in this championship push, although Krozer is still sitting down in P10. He's coming out the garage now. He should have enough time to set a lap, but long way down the board, although only 0.6 of P2, so it's very close today in terms of the times in qualifying. QB a fair way down, but he will always finish the race. He's known for doing that. As Lifebout into P2, a 20.6, much better from the Aston Martin. As the Dutchman puts himself on the front row, he'll be very happy with that. I don't think he would have quite had the pace to catch LB, but very, very decent from Lifebout, who is, as Sumo said earlier, on an absolute resurgence in Tier 2 lately. QB doesn't quite improve across the line, still sitting on a 23.2, well off the pace, unfortunately. Crozer's on an outlap. I think I'll ride on board with Krozer, because currently I think what he does is going to be the most important thing in terms of the Constructors' Championship. So he needs a decent qualifying, and he needs to not screw up his lap 1, because he has got a history of doing that. He usually either has a really good start or a really terrible start. He's had Hungary -7, Spain -7, USA -10 on lap 1s. But on the contrary, Netherlands +6, France +3, Singapore +3, Bahrain +4, so he can have good starts. He's going to get a toe off his teammate, so good teamwork from the Red Bulls again today. We do see this from them quite often. Krozer into turn 1 now. What's he going to do? It's a good braking point, and round he goes very clean. Don't lose it on the exit, very, very easy to do. But Krozer keeps it going on the track. LB, I think, should be confident that he has pole. Hephaestus is in the pit, so he's not going to be setting another lap. Krozer is purple through Sector 1, 2.5 tenths up. Can he carry that pace through Sectors 2 and 3? His total lap 1 positions is -2, but let's keep an eye on it. He's a bit conservative through Lesmo 2. He doesn't want to screw up this lap after a fantastic Sector 1, which I'm sure was helped by the slipstream from LB. He's still 4 tenths up. He's purple again. through Sector 2. Can Crozer sticking on pole position? But that was very conservative through Ascari. I think he will have lost at least a tenth on the pole time through there. So I don't think he's going to be on pole, but Crozer might be able to put himself into the top 5 here. It's going to be very tight through Parabolica. He needs a good section of the track. Round he comes to the line. It's a 21.0, and he's just behind RJ. So it looked so good through sectors 1 and 2, but Ascari has lost him so much time. And it will be P7 for Crozer for now. RJ is also on a lap, but he's a 10th down. It's not been good from the man who has won the last 2 races. He is on fire, the American, in the Alfa Romeo. But today, not quite as on the pace as he has been. What's it going to be as he comes across the line? We've got to watch Tinos as well as soon as RJ comes across the line. I think I heard Sumo unmuting himself. Are you back, mate?
Yes, I am back. Yeah, sorry, I did have to rush off very quickly. RJ's coming across the line now. He improves up ahead of Tinos. Only very slightly, though, only by 0.03 of a second. We're right on board with Tinos. He's coming out to Parabolica now. He's way down on his time, so there's going to be no improvement from the Season 3 champion. I don't think there's anybody else out on a lap right now. Stingray on a lap. He is just finishing up, but he's way down.
Oh, Lifeboat!
His previous time.
7 thousandths behind LB.
Oh,
I did not see that. He has improved, but it's not quite enough for pole position for the Aston Martin. LB will take it, but wow, that was close. Look at the gaps between not only P1 and P2, but P3 and P6. There's just 0.05 of a second.
Wow. Incredibly close. Lifeboat has really picked up the ball here in Tier 2. I'd definitely keep an eye on him for the next championship as we go into Season 4, which should be the last season on this year, this iteration of the game, I'd imagine.
Yes, for sure.
As I think 20, it's not been confirmed yet, but it normally comes out around July, the middle of July time. I'd say like 16th or something. I don't know.
Yeah, usually around there. So it'll be a little bit of a shorter season than this one, next season, but still should be something to watch. But it is LB on pole.
Yeah, we got LB on pole, who's Lifeboat trailing behind by 0.07 of a second, incredibly close between the two. Hephaestus P3 putting in a great lap in the Mercedes there. SW and RJ round off the top 5 with Tinos, Krauser, JBS Steve, Hartman and Pommy Alex making up the top 10. Stingray, QBV and Jamie F1 round out the rest of the grid, and still no Madman.
Yeah, so Madman has not made it today, unfortunately. He was very eager to post in chat that he's in the top 1,000 in Monza time trial, but he's not going to be able to show that pace today.
No.
Ghost anti-jinx, says Lifebout. Lifebout, you are going to crash horribly at turn 1, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare for you. You're going to be at the back the whole race, and yeah, just a very, very terrible race it's going to be for you. There you go. Was that enough?
Oh dear. That's probably the most anti-jinx you can try and do, I suppose. You need a lot of it over here. LB says he could have been so much faster. I think pole was proven enough that he didn't really need to be.
Well, he would have wanted the lap record. He was only a couple hundredths off it, so yeah, maybe he'll be disappointed with that. But Lifebout's 7 thousandths behind. I think it's going to be a close race.
Yeah, it is. I think Krauser's going to have a lot to do this evening. He's got to really get a good result. I think they need to. The best they can probably aim for this evening is a double podium for Red Bull. That'll really bring them into this championship fight properly. Maybe they'll need a DNF from one of the Alpha Tauris as well. They just need to outscore them a bit. I'm not sure exactly how the maths is going to work out. I'll leave that to you, Ghost, but it's going to be close, and that'll be the fight worth watching.
Well, the gap is 21 points, so they need to outscore them by quite a bit. in order to make it an exciting finale. I think they need to outscore the minimum 12 points today.
Yeah.
10 is bare minimum, but I think any less than that, and they're really going to be hoping for a disaster, which is not what you want to be doing, because if you're in a championship fight, but you're winning the championship fight, and all you need to do, especially with our point system here, with the just going 20, 19, 18 all the way down, if you know you're winning the championship and you know all you need to do is finish, you're not going to take any risks. So I think Red Bull need a big game today.
Yeah, certainly so. And it'll be interesting to see who will come out on top of here. I mean, Krause is currently sat P2, but his teammate getting a clean go of it from pole position will be very important. The pit stop strategy is predicted to be a one-stop, soft to medium or soft to hards. We might see a couple safety cars we did in Tier 1. We saw one safety car toward the end of the race, so I'm sure that will play a part. But the drivers are going to come round now to line themselves back up on the grid to get this race underway.
Everyone's starting on the softs, which is interesting. Not even Stingray, QB and Jamie opting for the mediums. So maybe they expect an early safety car. I think you should only really expect to see the hards if there's a safety car on lap 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think mediums will go all the way. Obviously, if you're starting on mediums and there's an early safety car, then you'll go to the hards as well. But yeah, that's no one is starting on the mediums, so yeah, I wouldn't expect the hards to come out today at any point.
No. All right, then we get those green flags waved. Timing glitches already. 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Italian Grand Prix here at Monza, and it's lights out and away we go. It's looking like a decent start from Lifebout, who's already challenging LB for the lead. They're going to go side by side. Festus looking to make it 3 wide as well as they go down toward the not the Della Regina. Whoa! It's Crozer goes straight down and hits his teammate.
What on earth happened there? Oh, I'm lost for words, Sumo. I don't know what happened. He must have missed his braking point by about 6,000 miles. That was wow. Okay, I don't expect that from Crozer. I doubt it was deliberate.
No, not at all.
But
Lifebound straight up the inside of Lesmo 1 on LB. I think he might have damage. It looked like quite hard contact.
No right end plate, and Red Bull have just shot themselves in the foot.
Yes.
I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say, but I do know what to say. Pommy Alex in 4th.
Yeah, Pommy Alex did get up to 4th. Let's have a look at the position changes. After that crazy lap run, 6 places Pommy Alex is gained. That's brilliant from the McLaren driver, and it looks like he's going to line up another one as he gets past the ailing LB, who's going to have to pit on lap 1 for that wing damage and probably put on some hard tyres. As we said, he's just dropping like a stone into the pit lane. He comes then. Red Bull really not helping themselves.
I'm still lost for words. I've no idea what to say about that. That was the Red Bull just came steaming in. It was like he didn't brake at all.
You know what that felt like?
So odd.
When I missed my braking point in Japan and hit straight into you. So Festus is going on the attack at the front here. It's a battle between Mercedes and Aston Martin. Festus and Lifebout going wheel to wheel. These could be future drivers to watch in future championships to come. We're not quite sure yet, but we'll keep watching on board as it develops along here. Lifebout getting the dream start he would have wanted, especially with LB dropping all the way down and having to change that wing. He is well out of this race now.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just confusing. I still don't really know what to say about that one. Very, very odd crash. Anyway, here comes the SW round the outside of RJ though, for P5. RJ not quite on the pace today as he has been the last couple of weeks, but he'll still be looking for consistent race to try and get himself back in it, and he is back on the attack on SW, but SW using that ERS to stay ahead. And look at the disadvantage he's got. That's about 40% difference in battery between the two of them. Yeah, I think SW is going to be vulnerable in the next few laps, and indeed there's contact there. RJ just hitting the back of the Williams unintentionally through turn 2. Just got to be a little bit careful there.
Yeah, certainly. It's a very heavy braking point, and you've really just got to make sure you judge it right. As RJ goes flying over both curbs at the Della Roggia into the gravel and loses a place to Hartmann as yellow flags are out in sector 2. I think that's QB having a bit of a moment. He seems to have kept going at the moment, but Pommy Alex is in a good place to try and gain some points in this battle for P2 in the championship.
And maybe his first podium. He hasn't had a podium yet this season, so he'll be hoping to rectify that today. He did leave it late last season for his first podium as well, so we're not biased here in the commentary box, but I think we'd love to see Pommy Alex get himself a podium. Although Tin Oz getting a podium on his home race would be pretty good too.
Yeah, certainly is chasing down Pommy Alex. DRS is well and truly enabled now. We'll keep an eye on the tyres as we go. Krauser and Stingray on the hards. As Tinos goes right down the inside, they're going to go side by side. Pommy going on the attack back. He's going to stick it around the outside and claim the inside on the second part of the chicane. It's good defensive drive from the McLaren driver at the minute. As Tinos is all going to be all over this. Will he have a look into the Della Roggia as they come round Curva Grande now? It's not looking like he's going to sit behind him and wait for the next DRS zone.
Yeah, absolutely. That was brilliant late braking from the Australian, really channeling his countryman Daniel Ricciardo there. Tin Oz just wasn't expecting the McLaren to come back, but he certainly did. Great stuff from Pommy Alex, but I think this battle will go on. As I think Sumo might be muted again, so Tin Oz still just looking to stay with that McLaren. As I said before, this race will be won or lost in sectors 2 and 3, but particularly sector 2, because if you can stay with the car in front through sector 2, then you're going to have a really good chance at the DRS zones. So it's going to be interesting to see. Hephaestus is still keeping up with Lifebout as well. Lifebout's race pace not quite on par with his qualifying pace, and Hephaestus does have the DRS, so he's going to have that toe hook on the Aston Martin as Tin Oz gets his way past Pommy Alex fairly comfortably into turn 1 this time. No room for a late braking maneuver from Pommy Alex, who nearly loses a huge tank slapper out of turn 2. That's going to cost him a lot of time to the AlphaTauri. Sumo in pause menu, 10-second penalty for AI. Yeah, let's get Sumo a penalty. I think he is back now, but just to update you, Tin Oz got past Pommy Alex on the straight this time, and Pommy Alex is losing time all the time. So I think Tin Oz will keep that position, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I do apologise.
No worries. It's all good.
People
it's a good thing with two commentators.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just people not respecting that I'm currently busy. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. Hephaestus staying with Lifebout at the moment. He's only 8 tenths back. We'll keep an eye on this in a minute. RJ is going to be on the hunt to get past Hartmann, as he looks like he gets a much better exit out of Ascari, so he may even get it down toward Parabolica.
Yeah, it's interesting battle to see between the top 2 as well, as Hephaestus is still within a second of Lifebout. But here comes the Alfa Romeo of RJ. Got to watch at the back as well. LB is close to Steve, who's close to Jamie. Here comes the Alfa Romeo. RJ around the outside of Hartmann. Very simple move from the Alfa Romeo, and Hartmann not responding to that. I don't think he wants to get himself into any dangerous battles when he's fighting for the constructors. Here comes JBS Steve as well on Jamie F1. That's the other battle to watch, as LB tries to fight his way through on those mediums as well.
Yeah, I think Hartmann just perhaps trying to look for a way back past. He's going to try and stay with RJ here. A little bit of lag there from from Hartmann at the minute, but he's still staying with him. JBS Steve getting past the Alpine of Jamie F1, who's going to
Whoa.
go for a switchback. It's not quite going to work, is it? I don't know. They're going to get fairly equal exits off of the second part of the corner. LB will look to get involved in this as well, but they're going to go side by side through Curva Grande and down to the Della Roggia chicane. At the moment, it looks like the Alpine has got the edge over JBS Steve. Is LB getting involved? There's a little bit of contact between the two drivers ahead of them, but Jamie F1 keeps his position for now.
Here comes LB down the inside of JBS Steve, taking advantage as RJ and Hartmann swap positions again, but LB gets his way past and into P10, so he is making his way back up slowly but surely as he looks to chase after Jamie F1 now.
Pommy Alex on the back of Tinos. He's got himself back into this. He could get back on that podium position for now. Is he going to have a look down there? No, I think he's too far back. He'll sit behind the AlphaTauri and he'll wait for his opportunity. It looks like he got a decent exit. QB getting past RJ. He's peeled into the pit lane.
Yeah, RJ in the pits. I think he'll be putting on the mediums to the end. I don't know if he had damage or if he's just coming in for an early stop to try and undercut. Here comes LB on Jamie F1 though. We've got to watch Hephaestus and Lifebout as well. They're still close together. Mercedes not letting him go. But here comes LB.
He's going down the inside into the first corner there. He's going to get this position done with the help of the DRS. He gets it way before the braking zone. And that's Jamie F1 down another position.
Yeah, and RJ's come out behind all of these three. So clearly the first lap pit hasn't been all bad for LB and co. Although I think RJ may have had damage. That's why he came in early, because I'm surprised to see him come out behind all of these guys.
Yeah, certainly so. Festus is keeping Lifebout honest. I think a nice battle for the lead could erupt between these two here. It's nice to see some fresher faces up ahead of the pack at the moment, and Hephaestus is going to go on the attack here. He opens up that DRS to give him that extra speed down the straight, and he looks like he's going to get the job done way before the braking zone. He's going to leave the room for Lifebout to go around the outside, but he's not quite going to be able to do it as Hephaestus covers him off and gets himself into the lead of this race as they come out of that first corner. There's a Haas off the circuit. Is JBS Steve. It's just a spin, but he has lost his front wing there.
Yeah, at Ascari, I wouldn't be surprised if that's just a solo spin. Very easy to do at Ascari. I hope there was no contact, but again, I think Ascari is a fairly likely place for that sort of spin.
Pommy Alex has got past Tinos as well. I've just missed that. But Tinos will be back on the attack. These two fighting hard as well. Tinos will be enjoying being able to get his elbows out now that he has won the championship. He's got that extra pressure lifted off of his shoulders now that he's finally put both hands on that trophy.
Yeah, and he'll be happy to see both Red Bulls near the back as well, because that means he doesn't have to worry too much about the constructors either. But both these guys are going to be very hungry for a podium here. Pommy Alex for his first podium of the season, Tinos for a home race podium as he goes down the inside into Parabolica, maybe not quite. But he's going to have the DRS up towards turn one. We've got to keep an eye on Lifebout as well, who's got the DRS on the Mercedes. Is he going to have enough to make a move? JBS Steve is just coming out the pit, so he could disrupt this battle. Ooh! And he does, in fact. Lifebout having to lift off just in case. He wasn't sure if Steve was going to ghost or not. Yeah, JBS Steve unwittingly getting involved in that battle there, but I don't think any lasting harm done as SW comes into the pits for a new front wing and onto the hard tyres. So SW must have had damage at some point, and he's going to go to the end on the hards, which I think is the wrong call on lap 9. I think you can take the mediums all the way. Yeah,
certainly. So I think the mediums will just make it. It's not too far of a stretch for them. They might feel a bit rubbish toward the end, and there might always be a safety car, you never know. But right now, the field's fairly spread out after the pit stops, but not everybody has come in yet. They've still got a lot of the drivers still on their first set. The top 6 are yet to pit at the moment. And Lifebout gets a very good exit out of Ascari. He's going to be on all over the back of Hephaestus coming down toward Parabolica at the minute. Pommy Alex gets a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help his campaign to get second place in the Drivers' Championship at the minute, as Lifebout follows Hephaestus through the final corner there. And is he sets himself up to get this position once more. He'll open up that DRS and he'll go straight on the attack. No Haas coming out of the pits to get in his way this time. Hephaestus defends to the inside. Lifeboat just goes straight around the outside and he's going to get the job done just ahead of him as they come into the braking zone. And it's another switch of the positions again, as Pommy Alex hasn't managed to get past Tinnels this time, but he is going to keep with him.
Yeah, Hephaestus reluctant to send it down the inside into turn 1 there. He just he knows that the two of them are similar on race pace, it seems, so he doesn't want to make things ugly, as it were. Just keep it clean for now, and the ugly racing can come later when it really matters. RJ Blair looking to go down the inside of Jamie F1, but Jamie covers him off. Round the outside instead goes the Alfa Romeo, side by side through turns 1 and 2. Jamie's going to get the better exit to be on the outside, and Jamie's going to keep the position through Curva Grande. Unless RJ can respond with ERS, he's not going to, so positions stay static there. SW trying to get a hold on LB as well, who I mean, I don't know if LB's going to pit again or if he's going to take those mediums all the way. It's going to be quite a challenge to take those mediums all the way, but I think it's possible.
Yeah, certainly, and I think it's safe. Well, a safety car will definitely help him out. I mean, it'll help a lot of the drivers out. It's very spread out. As Hephaestus has come into the pits, so the first of the front runners to come in, he's going to try and get the undercut on their lifeboat, so he's going to need to get a nice clean lap. Tinnels is also in. So onto the medium tyres for both of them. They'll be looking to get one over on their rivals as they go through. I don't think anyone will get involved. Hartman's coming as well, so double stack for AlphaTauri, but they had a plenty big enough gap. QB, I think, is going to see himself up in the top 3, is he? I think Hephaestus has just got out ahead of him to stop that, but QB well up the order. So we love to see it.
Yeah, he's just keeping it clean, keeping it on track. Doesn't matter how fast he is. If he keeps it clean, he'll still get a decent result, and that's always what he does. That's what QB is very well known for in Tier 2, as RJ and Jamie get very close through Turn 1 and 2 again. But RJ not able to make the move as of yet. He could have made the move into Parabolica, but chose the DRS instead, which was a poor move because he didn't get a good exit out of the final corner. But here he comes now, round the outside for De La Rogier, backs out of that one. Is not going to take that risk and stays behind the Alpine and nearly goes for a spin on the exit as well. RJ really pushing to get past this Alpine.
Yeah, it really is. It's looking like it's looking like a decent gap. Lifeboat's come into the pits then, so we're going to be watching this situation as it unfolds. Hephaestus is just on the run down toward Parabolica now. Into the pit box comes Lifeboat. Pommy Alex came in just behind him as well. So has Hephaestus put in a good enough lap? Released is the Aston Martin, and I think he's going to stay ahead of Hephaestus and by quite some margin, is he? Along comes Hephaestus now. Keep an eye on the left-hand side of the screen. It's going to be close between them. They're going to be racing down towards turn 1, are they? I'm not sure. I think Lifeboat has just kept ahead of Hephaestus, but it was very close.
And Pommy Alex has lost a lot of time to Tinners as well. That undercut for the AlphaTauri working hugely. 2 seconds is the gap now. It was a lot closer than that before. LB only 6 seconds down despite all the carnage that happened on lap 1, so he's recovering well. Jamie F1 is got on the attack on RJ again, who gets a terrible exit out of turn 2. RJ did make the move into Ascari. I was watching on while you were concentrating on the pit stops, but Jamie F1 back past, and RJ is going to be so frustrated with himself because he had that move done and then a mistake into turn 2, and he's back behind the Alpine once again.
Yeah, these two battling hard. This is a detriment to RJ's race at the minute. He's just losing time. Pommy Alex is going to be really looking forward to seeing this, because he'll get some decent points over the guys he's fighting with for P2. Although LB is only a place behind him right now, so he has recovered fairly well from this. It could be a decent recovery drive as RJ goes on the attack once again down the inside of Ascari. That's very close, and it's very good for them to not make contact with each other. RJ getting a really good exit through the second parts of Ascari there, so he might go on the attack down to Parabolica, but I think he's going to choose the DRS over the position, so he's going to go on the attack down toward the first corner.
This is how you play DRS games. You just don't overtake. Instead of braking before the activation point, just don't overtake and keep it simple. But here comes RJ now into turn one. He's going to look to make the move this time. Is Jamie going to squeeze him? No, he's going to choose the outside line this time. Here comes RJ down the inside. It's a good move, and Jamie F1 makes a mistake into turn one and turn two, and that should be the position gain for RJ finally. But look how much time he's lost. That's around 2.5 seconds he's lost stuck behind Jamie for that long. So RJ not going to be happy with that one.
It's looking like quite a little battle that might be forming here. SW's got Hartman on the back of him, and SW's not too far off of LB, who is on 10-lap old medium tyres. SW's on fresh hards, but he has got himself into the DRS. He hasn't got DRS in this instance, but he is close enough for the next time they run down to a detection zone. So there's a little train of free cars for P5, and I'm sure RJ will want to get himself on the back of that as well if they start fighting.
Absolutely. The hards are not bad at all around this track. I said we're not likely to see them unless there's carnage on lap one. Well, there was, but even so, if you find yourself on the hards, it's not that bad. They're not too bad around here at all. They can go quite a long way, and they're not too far off the pace of the mediums in the long term. SW's got no ERS left, but neither has Hartman. LB still with 84%, so he's got the advantage in this battle at the moment.
Oh, Hartman looking like he got a much better exit out of the second corner there, down toward Curva Grande. He might think about going on the attack, but I think he'll stick behind and wait for the next DRS zone. Stingray getting past Jamie, who comes into the pits. I'm just sort of looking at the timing right now. I did have a point to make, and I think it's just lost. It's just lost me. That was it. It was Lifeboat and Hephaestus trading fastest lap there on the last lap. So these two really going at it. It's going to be a fight to the end, I think, for these guys. And what a great show to put on.
Yeah, Hephaestus was 0.5 off pole in qualifying, but the race pace, it's very even between the two of them. So I think we might have a titanic battle for the race lead. Although hopefully it doesn't end the same way the last time we saw a titanic battle for the race lead in Monza in Tier 2. That was...
Here comes Hephaestus, he's going round the outside, and he's going to get it before the braking zone.
But Lifeboat breaks too late and hits the back of the Mercedes, and again, some difficulties there between the two of them, but all the Lifeboat's doing, I think, just braking a little bit too late. Hopefully the Aston Martin doesn't have damage.
It doesn't look like it
visually.
No, it could be some olive green damage. You never know with with the visual side of things. Well, you'll see if his pace does drop off, but it doesn't look like it. He might have just got away with it. I think we're all on reduced damage on here, so you can get away with the tiniest bit of contact, but any more than that, I know you will get chunks of wing flying off. But Lifeboat coming down again. Will he think about the move down toward Ascari? Hephaestus went sort of half defensive, but Lifeboat stays behind him. He's looking, if you could get the better exit for Ascari, you could really set yourself up for the overtake down in toward the first corner on that DRS straight. And it looks like Lifeboat did get the better exit of the two of them. Lifeboat has 1 lap fresher tyres than his rival at the moment. So that'll be his advantage that he takes over. And he does have double the amount of VRS that Hephaestus does in the tank at the moment. So it's going to be a hard-fought battle between the two.
Yeah, Lifeboat actually disabling his DRS on the previous straight to stay behind. They're going to go side by side into turn one. Hephaestus brakes much later, and there's contact again. Lifeboat just overestimating how fast Hephaestus was going to be out of turn one, hitting the back of him. I think he's gotten away with it yet again. He's not going to make a move into De La Roche yet, but this is going to be hard fought, as you said. But Lifeboat with the ERS advantage at the moment.
Yeah, certainly so. He's just got to play that well. He's got to be patient and wait for his opportunity to get ahead and then open up that gap. It's stayed pretty civil between the guys fighting for P5 at the moment. RJ's actually fallen off of that train a little bit more. Battling with Jamie F1 has really put work on his tyres and left him out to dry.
Yeah, for sure. It's not going to be ideal for RJ's push for P3 or P2 in the championship, although Crozer down in P12 will be music to the ears of those fighting for those positions. Crozer could go from P2 all the way to P4 or P5 in the championship after this race if it stays like this. But if there's a safety car, he'll be right back in it.
Yeah, certainly. So we just have to wait and see where it unfolds. There's 10 laps left of this race to go, and Lifebout's on the attack yet again. Hephaestus not going defensive. Lifebout gets well ahead of the Mercedes before the braking zone, and is ahead of the Grand Prix once again, with Lifebout nipping at his heels.
Yeah, I think Hephaestus might have actually lifted off and let Lifebout through there. He
think
doesn't
SW
want to fight. Here comes
going around the
outside of LB. Wow, what a break! A breaking move that was. There is contact on the exit. SW overestimating again, and we might see Hartmann getting involved as well because of that. But they're both very low on ERS, so I think that's going to be tricky for Hartmann to make the move. He does have a look into De La Rogier, but I don't think he ever intended to go for it. As SW gets on the curb though and has a little bit of a moment on the exit of De La Rogier. This is perfect for LB, who is going to be able to save the tyres for a few more laps if he is planning to go to the end.
Yeah, certainly he's got to wait for his opportunity. He might go for the attack here. He's got the closing speed. He goes toward the inside, which was defended well by SW. He has to think about it again, but he backs off and just waits to set up the move down the main straight. LB is gone, so SW's got no aid of the DRS of the Red Bull as Lifebout sets the fastest lap at 22.333. As Hartmann looks to the outside, SW squeezing him, trying to shut the door and stop the Red Bull from coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. This battle will go on.
Oh, LB into the pits.
Oh, LB in, so he's not going to the end. He's going to put on the softs to the end and hope for a safety car. As here comes Hartmann now on SW. There's a little bit of contact between them as SW goes late again on the brakes. Down the inside, Hartmann with no answer. And SW back up into P5. This battle goes on, but SW with that penalty could cost him towards the end of this race. LB has come out in P8 by the looks of it, just in front of QB, and he's going to be certainly gunning for fastest lap, and maybe even catching RJ towards the end, although that will be a tough ask.
Yeah, he's not too far away. Well, he's 16 seconds away, so he's got a fair mountain to climb to get back up ahead of him, but a safety car did come out around this time in Tier 1, so we might just see it again, which will close them all up, of course, and LB are in prime position to gain some advantage off of that.
Absolutely, and I don't think 16 seconds is impossible in 9 laps at all.
No.
It's those softs are significantly faster than the mediums, certainly for the first few laps. So LB might have a shot at P7 towards the end of this race, but any more than that, he's going to need a safety car.
Yeah.
SW still staying ahead of Hartmann for now, who's dropped off a bit, so this battle has looks like it has ended for now. Neither of them have any ERS left at all, and RJ is actually catching them now. 2 seconds is the gap, so RJ might be able to make his way up the field a little bit more as he hits the curb a little bit into turn 1. Lifebout still 1.1 seconds ahead of Hephaestus, but Hephaestus is not leaving him alone. It's still not too far between the two of them, and we could have a battle towards the end of the race yet again if Lifebout makes a small mistake.
Yeah, certainly. These are the moments where your heart's pumping. The guy's still, you know, when the gap's about 2 seconds, you can sort of rest easy a little bit when you're in the lead of the race. But when the guy behind you is sat on the cusp of that DRS zone, that under 1 second mark, that's when you've really got to be mindful, and you're really just sort of in it.
Yeah, it's very. You're always sort of looking over your shoulder. It's that kind of feeling, and you've got to have a strong mental game to overcome that and still take the advantage home and win the race. Although Lifebout does have a significant battery advantage, although he won't know that unless he's listening into the stream. Hephaestus on about 10%, Lifebout on 35%. So I still fancy Lifeboat for this win, but if he makes a mistake, Hephaestus is right there to pounce. It's not a gap where Lifeboat can relax, as you say, as LB sets the fastest lap, unsurprisingly, and that gap is already down to 12 seconds in just a couple of laps.
Yeah, certainly, and LRJ has got onto the back of Hartmann here, so we could see an attack from the Alfa Romeo, and it wouldn't be the first time that Lifeboat's thrown away a victory from making mistakes. Just one penalty could be the difference between the top step of the podium and second place.
For sure, absolutely. A penalty is another way to bottle it, as it were. Here comes Jamie F1 on Stingray further back, by the way, through Curva Grande. It's right behind, and Jamie pulls to the outside. Is Stingray going to fight this, or is he going to let the Alpine go? Stingray's not going to let him go. He is going to fight, but I think Jamie's got that covered, and that's a good move from the Alpine.
Yeah, a little bit of wheel banging on the exit, but there was nothing too malicious about that. There's a good little move. It's very tight coming through the De La Roggia chicane, and these two did well to navigate without any major contact between the two of them. It's all settled down a little bit toward the front now as well.
Into Ascari, sorry to interrupt. Down the inside he goes. Jamie round the outside. There's contact into the wall. Jamie into the wall, and he's out of the race. Stingray's lost his wing, and that is a safety car. That's what we were talking about. That is a safety car late in the race. Jamie's not going to be happy about that one, but at the same time, I don't think he really intended to leave the Aston Martin too much room. It's difficult to say on a first viewing, of course, and I'm sure we'll see it in the stewards. QB's into the pits, but all the leaders have just passed the pit lane as the safety car comes out. So interesting to see what happens here. LB could be back in contention. As the top guys have got to decide, do they pit or do they stay out and keep track position? I'm going to ride on board with Lifeboat to find out what he decides, and Hephaestus has got to decide as well. Does he do the opposite to Lifeboat, or does he follow the Aston Martin? Only time will tell.
Well, we'll find out. They're coming round Parabolica now. This is throwing a spanner in the works. It's going to be a sprint to the finish. The safety car coming out around the exact same time it did in Tier 1 as well. So they've both come in.
Stays out.
Oh, Tinnell's staying out. Does Pommy stay out? No, he comes in as well. SW, I'm sure he'll come in, switch off those hard tyres. He's got nothing to lose at this point. He's got a big enough gap to some drivers. We'll see what LB does. Hartmann's in, RJ's in as well. It'll be interesting. I think LB will be within his right mind to stay out. If he comes in, he'll be sacrificing 3-4 positions that he's going to gain, and look, he stays out. He's going to climb well up to about P5, I'd imagine.
Could be P4. Where's Pommy Alex? No, Pommy Alex well in front. So as you say, P5 for LB. He's back in the race, and Pommy Alex with that penalty as well. That's really going to cost the Australian with this late safety car. And Tinoz is going to have a job to do here. Everyone else has pitted, apart from LB, obviously, but he might as well have pitted. Tinoz, the only man on the medium tyres at the end of this race, and he's going to find it very difficult to keep these cars behind. Although I have seen it in another league, in ESRL. I think we were both commentating that time when there was a car at the front on old mediums with cars behind on softs or newer mediums or something. And the other car was able to defend and race with the other cars quite well. And maybe we'll see that today with Tinoz, who looks to get a home race victory.
Well, this will be a nice sight for Lifeboat. He's got a lapped car in between himself and Hephaestus, but I don't think that lap car will pose too much of a problem because it should go straight away. It's
JBS Steve, who has not had the most ideal day in the Haas. But,
fairly decent qualifying, but he's still going at the minute, and that's all you can ask. Really, he'll get some points if he can keep the car in one piece.
Just wait. Will he? No, he's not going to come into the pits. He's going to stick it out. He's got every right to. He's just going to stay there and just try and get to the end of this race. But I hope he doesn't interfere too much. I hope he does let the other cars through.
Yeah.
because it's not like he's racing anyone at the moment.
No, certainly not. I'm just having a look at the penalty situation. 3 seconds of Pommy Alex and SW, so that will put a spanner in the works for those guys for sure. Krauser's got 11 seconds of penalties. He's really not had a great race this evening.
No, he's had a nightmare. That turn one incident, again, it's so uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
The Krauser is usually perfectly fine, doesn't cause any incidents, and yeah, I'm sure he has an explanation. Maybe he got tagged. The only thing I can think of really is that down the straight he was side by side with another car, and the other car maybe moved a bit into the Red Bull, and Krauser was sent onto the grass, and that meant he couldn't stop. It's the only thing I can really think of, because it's not like Krauser misses braking point by that much, so something must have happened, I think.
Yeah, certainly. So I think that it did seem very out of character for that to happen. I'm enjoying seeing Festus back up toward the front, back in Tier 2. I'm sure hopefully he'll be able to make the full season when we do start season 4. Safety car in this lap. So Tinnels will become the effective safety car. And I want to use this time to very quickly have a shout out to our fellow commentator Zach Sweeney. It is his birthday today.
Hey.
Happy birthday to Zach. I was going to do it before the race, but I completely forgot about it after being dragged away. But yes, happy birthday, Zach. I hope you've had a great day. I hope you're watching as well. We've given you a good race going on here for your birthday. So that's what we do over here for Tier 2. But yeah, that's more or less the birthday shout out. As Tinnels, I think he's gone. He's gone early.
Yeah. He's caught Lifebout napping a little bit.
Yeah.
Lifebout was right on the back of the Alpha Tower. He's certainly caught Hephaestus napping.
Look at that grip of the softs coming straight back in though, because he's catching right back up. Pommy Alex is on the attack on Hephaestus as well, but Lifebout could go for the position here. He's just gonna sit behind. I think he'll wait for the DRS. He knows he's got the massive advantage over the Alpha Tauri, so this could be Lifebout's race to winners. 5-second penalty for corner cutting for RJ Blair.
Oh, that's RJ
not gonna help
who's
him.
into the wall. Oh no, RJ. I don't know if there was contact there. There must have been, but Lifebout and Tinos side by side into Delarogier. Lifebout trying to go around the outside. Tinos holds it at his home Grand Prix and stays ahead, but there's still another 4 laps to go, and Tinos is going to find this very difficult. He could drop like a stone here. Hephaestus is back in the fight as well, thanks to that little mini battle, and Pommy Alex and LB also looking for podiums.
Here comes Lifebout. He's going toward the outside, towards the Scurry. He's having a look. I'm not sure he's quite close enough to get the move done. He needed the DRS just to get past him, so he sits behind right now. Festus really closing up onto the back of this battle. This is going to be about a 4-5-6 car battle for the win of this race, with 2 of them with penalties, so they'll drop back down. So keeping an eye on P's position 1, 2, 3 and 5 for now. Festus looking to try and get a better exit into both of them. Lifebout all over the back of Tinos. He's looking in his mirrors. He's going to go to the outside, no, to the inside, sorry. And they're going to go side by side. Festus could make this free ride as well as he gets into the slipstream.
Here comes Hephaestus down the inside of Tinos. He goes, he makes the move. Side by side through turns 1 and 2. Hephaestus maybe going to get the better exit, not quite. So Tinos able to hold him off, and that's going to cost Hephaestus in relation to Lifebout, who is going to clean up here unless Hephaestus can get past Tinos quickly, and he's doing just that. Down the inside in towards Delarogier. Tinos breaks late to try and keep it there, but he can't quite make the move, and Pommy Alex has to stick behind the AlphaTauri as well, who is indeed dropping like a stone, just as MX said in your chat, Sumo. LB trying to get his way past the McLaren as well. LB wants a podium today, and I think he's got a very good chance of getting one. The Australian in front with a time penalty, and Tinos on the unfavourable old medium tyres. He's going to be regretting not pitting, I think. Hephaestus within a second of Lifebout now, through Ascari, gets the better exit, but has to lift off there in the last corner, gets a bit too much of the curb.
SW with another 3-second time penalty, so that's 6 seconds for SW. Yeah. He's fresh out of this one, and Hartman's going to get well up there too. Actually, Crozer's closed. Well, he was closed up, but he's must have got mixed up in some Big mistake at the minute. So he's the lower car of this constructors battle at the minute, but we got a 4-car train going with Tinnels at the head of it as Pommy Alex is looking for a way through. He's looking to the outside as Tinnels goes defensive. He's then going to go side by side through that first chicane. A little bit of contact between the two. And Pommy Alex gets him through, and LB gets past both of them. Oh, and there goes SW. He's gone round. He's spun. He's in the wall.
Oh no, disaster for the Belgian in the Williams. He's going to drop all the way down the grid and all the way to last place, I would expect, other than JBS Steve, who is lapped. And disaster for the Williams yet again in the closing laps. It always seems to happen. He has a great race and then bottles it in the closing laps for whatever reason. Pommy Alex very wide out of Lesmo 1, trying desperately to keep up with LB and Lesmo 2 as well. Hartman's going to try and take advantage of that. Tinnels has dropped all the way down to P6 already, and he's not going to make any more positions at the end of this race. I think that's where he is going to finish, unless that Pommy Alex time penalty. And Pommy Alex gets another time penalty, so actually
Pommy.
He's going to drop all the way down to P5 here, or P6 rather. And Hartman's looking to get his way past to try and challenge LB for P3. LB doing well for Red Bull right now. Can Hartman make the move on Pommy Alex? Not quite at the moment. Hephaestus as well. It's onto the last lap. Hephaestus within a second of Lifebout. But look at the ERS. Neither of them have any left. So it's going to be a straight fight at the end of this race. But I don't think Hephaestus is going to be close enough unless he can make a move into Ascari. Pommy Alex trying to get back past LB, but it's not going to matter because of those penalties. LB is going to get himself on the podium despite that awful start. That safety car has really helped him out, and he's going to get himself P3 as long as he doesn't make any more mistakes now. Here comes Pommy Alex.
In the work. He's getting closer to the back of Lifebout.
Oh! Pommy Alex round the outside of LB, tries to make the move, doesn't quite. SW retires in the pit lane. Hartman now tries to take advantage of Pommy Alex's poor exit, but just forced onto the grass a little bit as Pommy Alex makes another mistake into Lesmo 1. Hartman's going to make the move, I think, into Ascari now. Pommy Alex with no DRS. Oh, he does have the DRS. That's a surprise. But I don't think it's going to matter. Hartman all the way around the outside. And it's going to be a fantastic P4 finish for Hartman today, I think. Can Hephaestus make a move?
No, he's not, but he's closing in down toward Parabolica, but I don't think he's going to have enough track to do it. They're coming closer and closer to the end of this race. It's going to be a monstrous exit from Parabolica if he's going to get that position. It's going to be a drag race down toward the line, but Hephaestus is not close enough, and Lifebout's going to take the win here at Monza. Wow. If Hephaestus not too far behind, LB having an abysmal start to his race and clawing himself to get the final step on the podium. A great job from Hartman, who finishes ahead of his teammate. I'm not sure how many times he's done that this season, but a decent drive after a safety car. Just
now
once.
Twice.
Now twice. There we go. Hartman putting a great drive in. Tinnels making a bit of a wrong call for the strategy there as he got mugged by soft runners.
Yeah, Pommy Alex down to P6 because of the penalties, unfortunately, but driver of the day for Hartman, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
He had a wonderful drive today, but Lifebout and Hephaestus, what a battle between the two of them. Very clean all the way through and very even on pace, and that is one heck of a celebration from Lifebout's avatar on the podium.
Yeah.
But it is his second win of the season for the Dutchman. He has been on fire in the second half. Hephaestus, his first podium of the season as well. Brilliant drive from him. And LB gets his way onto the podium after, as you say, that abysmal start. So he'll be happy with the end to this race. I think the podium is very well deserved.
Yeah, certainly. So what an incredible race. Monza always delivers. It's always, especially here over in Tier 2. I remember our first race very well. It's my first outing as a commentator, and we've come a long, long way since then. But Lifebout taking his second win of the season, definitely a driver to keep an eye on as we move on. Hephaestus with a well-deserved P2. Great drive from the Mercedes driver. Is really good in qualifying and had the pace to get the win today, but was just beaten out by it. LB, great recovery drive from him to get himself on the podium there. With Hartman and Tinnels rounding off the top 5, a great drive from them. They'll be firmly favourites for the constructors coming toward the end of the season. We've got Pommy, Stingray, QB, Krauser, RJ making up the top 10 with SW, JBS Steve and Jamie F1 rounding out the rest of the grid.
Yeah, Jamie, unfortunately unable to finish after that crash with Stingray, which I think we might see in stewards a bit later. But
Yes.
I think other than that, from everything we saw, it was okay. I'm interested to see what happened to Crozo at the start. But other than that, I think it was a very good race, especially at the front. Lifeboat and Hephaestus was a fantastic battle all race long.
Yeah, it was an incredible race to witness. Great battle at the front, great battle in the midfield as well. There was some great racing all around. A few minor little incidents, but I'm sure we'll get those sorted out in the stewards room. But wow, what an incredible race! And AlphaTauri have got themselves one hand on that drivers' championship trophy or constructors' championship trophy. I'm losing my words after that crazy race. It started crazy, ended crazy. Um,
Yeah.
there we go. Any final thoughts, Ghost?
Just what Lifebelt said in chat, which was that he had two warnings from lap
Oh.
3 onwards.
Oh.
So that's a fantastic effort from the Aston Martin to not get that final warning, because that would have cost him the race win.
Mm.
So great stuff from Lifebelt.
Yeah, it's very easy to
And
do, especially in sector 3. I think that's the place to get those penalties. Sector 3 for Ascari and through the exit of the Parabolica there, but great job from Lifebout. Definitely a driver to watch. He's come a long, long way in his time with us at Tier 2, and it's great to see him on the top step of the podium once again. But we'll start wrapping things up now. One more big happy birthday to Zach Sweeney. He's been a great commentator over here on APPF1 whenever he can make it, and hopefully he'll be with us for sprints this Sunday, as it'll be nice to have a Sweeney stream over with APPF1. Make sure you go check out all of our APPF1 affiliates for their footage of races and commentary and all sorts of F1 action. And finally, go check out our sponsor, Positive Perception Media Design Products, and show them all the love and support you show us over here. And don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for all of your Formula One action from racing to commentating. But anyway, that's going to wrap things up for tonight. I have been Sumo.
and I have been Ghost.
And we shall see you next next Tuesday for the finale of the Tier 2 Championship, as well as a slurry of other racing content throughout the rest of the week. Bye for now, guys.
Goodbye.